Hey, I'm TheLoopyAlchemist, and welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim. Alright, well today we are going to do a whole host of different things, but primarily we are going to continue in the Civil War quest line and explain to Balgruuf what is going on. Now, as I'm sure all of you guys know, Ulfric Stormcloak is about to lay siege to Whiterun. Now, this is kind of the dumbest decision he could possibly make. Now, the reason is because the Stormcloaks, they're a revolutionary movement, basically, and it really doesn't make sense for them to risk it all in the Empire, with a giant set-pieced battle, especially because, by all accounts, you can count on the Empire having better training, probably better strategy, since they're the Empire. They've been doing this for a really long time, and it allows them to prepare their defenses to the best of their abilities. And one thing why I don't get the Imperial Legion really doesn't do is meet the Stormcloaks right out in the field, because, again, legionary tactics you'd think would work best in an open plain, and the Whiterun hold is just perfect for that. But they stay behind the city walls. I don't know, maybe they didn't have enough forces, so I'm pretty biased, but I'll actually give it to the Empire there. But again, why are the Stormcloaks doing this? Honestly, there is no reason. It's just a bad strategic decision on their call. Now, if I was the Stormcloaks, I would be trying to whip up as much dissent as possible in the other holds, kind of get them to overthrow themselves, and be basically carrying out a guerrilla war with the Empire, especially considering they're the Stormcloaks, they're the native race, Nord's native race of Skyrim, and would probably know the area the best. Again, it's just sloppy strategy, but right now we are basically playing courier and trying to get Balgruuf to accept Imperial reinforcements. And he's understandably reluctant to do so, because that will put him firmly in the camp of the Empire, and it seems to me like he's trying to stay out of this as much as he can, which is honestly what I would probably be doing in this case. But the Stormcloaks are planning on attacking him, so he's going to have to side with us. And again, this is one of the reasons why I love the Civil War quest line. With all the fighting you're doing, it's a great way to rank up, well, level up. Okay, probably no more so than any actual gameplay, but whatever. I just like the entire Elder Scrolls politics thing going on. And what else could the Stormcloaks do? Well, Riften is on the Cyrodiilic border, and it's in their camp. I would use that a lot more, too. Now, you'd think you could maybe raid Cyrodiil with it, but that would actually be probably a pretty bad idea, because, well, that would for sure get them on, like, #1 of the Empire's priority lists. Another thing I would do if I was a Stormcloak is actually go after the Thalmor, like, start fighting them, like, ambush them, raid their embassy, like, do a bunch of other stuff. What else could you do? You could get your forces up on Solstheim. You could make sure that... Well, actually, no, wait, because that's Morrowind, and then you'd probably piss Morrowind off. That's another thing you could do. You could try to get Morrowind's help. Like, I'm sure there's something they could want. But then again, if you're a Stormcloak, you're kind of not the most, fond of Dark Elves, so it'd be pretty hard to swing an alliance there, but considering you're on the same border with them, like, you could work... You see, this is why the Stormcloaks just don't work out. Bad strategy. Like, if they're making a mistake this big with trying to fight a superior force at a time and place, like, on their own turf, and something that does not at all cater to their strategy, how do you think they would do in a war with the Thalmor that beat the much more competent Empire legionary forces? And yeah, just a bunch of other stuff. Like, granted, I've talked about this before, how you could probably keep the Thalmor at bay in Skyrim, because tough terrain, and if you used it to your advantage and everything properly, you could probably keep them at bay, but simply put, to actually defeat the Dominion, it is not the way to go. But anyways, that's kind of my whole 2 cents on it. So, if you disagree with that, please post in the comments, and yeah, we will probably have some interesting flame wars over this. But anyways, we are going to march right into Windhelm. I always get Windhelm and Winterhold confused, like, not the actual locations, but just the name, because they both start with W and have something to do with winter. Alright, well, yeah, we are going to go deliver a message, and oh, what is this? Some kid is doing freaky messed up rituals and is trying to contact the Dark Brotherhood. Well, we being, well, having really nothing better to do. I mean, granted, we are kind of doing the entire diplomatic thing for the Civil War, but this has something to do with the Dark Brotherhood, so it is going to be worth checking out. I haven't done a today's question in a while, so you know what, I'm going to actually ask a bunch of them. Would you rather be in the Dark Brotherhood or the Morag Taunt? I would take Morag Taunt because they're kind of a bit more legitimate, and they're not going to put you in the Night Mother's coffin. Like, I know, granted, that is not a standard thing, but it is so disturbing, I would like to have it in writing. Not that I would know anything about that. And also, if you had to be the champion of one Daedric prince, what would it be? And by the way, in case I wasn't clear enough back there, I would definitely take the Morag Taunt over the Dark Brotherhood. And oh my god, what is this kid doing? Jeez. And yes, I just showed back there in shock, and I think a human heart, like, hit the wall. Well, as far as Daedric princes go, as tempting as it is to pick Hermaeus Mora, because I could probably get information on all the obscure continents like Akavir like that, I really wouldn't want to because tentacles creep me out. And, let's face it, Apocrypha is kind of a dump. And there's also that one book, I forget what it's titled, about that one scholar going through different planes of oblivion, and eventually he gets to Apocrypha and actually gets lost in there because, well, never comes out or slowly goes insane, probably all of the above, because he's too busy reading all this forbidden knowledge and whatnot. And granted, I think that might happen to me in there, so yeah, definitely avoiding that. I would pick Azura or Meridia, probably because, well, not only are they considered some of the few Daedric princes that aren't evil because they actually look after their followers. By the way, it's mentioned quite a bit that you can't really consider Daedra good or evil because they have no concept of morality, but I don't care. Like, just because you don't have the concept that something is, and oh, hello, just because you don't have the concept that something is bad doesn't mean doing it automatically doesn't equal not bad. For example, if my religion advocates human sacrifice, that doesn't make it okay for me to randomly sacrifice a random person. So yeah, I don't care. Getting me to eat that person, Namira, you are evil. And oh wow, these guys really mean business. Hopefully the city guards will help me on this one, even though I'm Imperial. Oh, yeah, wow, I'm getting my ass kicked. Okay, I'm just gonna run for it and hopefully let... where are the guards when you need them? But yeah, going back... yeah, excuse me. But yeah, going back to the entire Daedra thing, Meridia would be really useful to have in a zombie apocalypse because she hates the undead. Azura, just because, well, she probably won't get you to kill anyone or do any other horrible stuff. You know what, she probably would get you to kill people, but at the very least they would not be innocent people, I guess. And Oh yeah, I'm leaving one out. I'd probably go with Sanguine, because us Elder Scrolls lore nerds really like to party, in case that wasn't abundantly clear. But yeah, be sure to tell me your guys's. And, okay, nice. It looks like the city guards took care of that. So we are just going to loot some bodies. And I'm just gonna slash at them a few times because I don't like being forced to rely on the help from guards. And of course, these are the cultists of Murak, the first Dragonborn, who we are going to eventually go fight in Solstheim. If you guys want to see me do that, like again, if there's any quests you want me to do in particular, please let me know and I will get to it, like, eventually. As far as other games I might LP goes, like, for example, in the comments someone asked me if I'd ever do a Fallout LP. You know what? Maybe, but I'd probably do all the Elder Scrolls games first, just because I just don't really have the knowledge of the world to really talk about it as sufficiently as I'd like to, I guess. Well, alright, we are now just giving Ulfric the message that he's going to actually have to fight us. And, again, man, look, why are you playing completely into the Empire's hands by just fighting? Like, that's all you seem to understand. Being a leader actually requires a lot of political skill as well. Like, that's the funny thing. The Stormcloaks, it's just fight, 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 but they could probably win this war pretty easily if they were, again, just fighting a guerrilla war, or play the Empire and the Thalmor off each other. Like, start planting statues of Talos in, like, the houses of high-ranking Imperial officers. That will either get the Thalmor to, like, prosecute them, so it will rob the Empire of all of its best officers, or it will drive them into your camp, or at the very least create a massive headache for the Empire and do a lot of stuff and expend a lot of time that they otherwise would not have to do. Like, there are just so many anyways, yeah, I'll just leave that tangent alone, because I am probably stoking enough hate in the comments by being such an ardent Imperial, but I don't know, I'm, like, definitely firmly on one side, and oh yeah, that's just the note, explaining what exactly is going on with the entire Murak business. But, I don't know, again, feel free to debate any of this. Like, I'm not just mindlessly attacking the Stormcloaks, I'm attacking them certainly, but it's actually with points, so if you want to civilly debate this, I welcome video responses. Actually, I don't think YouTube has those anymore with the entire system. Google plus me. So, yeah, just offer any kind of response you wish. By the way, Murak is, as it says, the first Dragonborn, but if you ever read anything about Saint Alessia, it will usually call her the first Dragonborn. She was until we knew about Murak, so yeah, it's Murak now, but in any of the older books and any of the older Elder Scrolls games, it will call it Saint Alessia. And alright, well, it looks like we are actually going to have to do some fighting now. And the funny thing is, I'm dressed like an Imperial legate, but I'm just an... actually, no, I think I might have ranked up since being an auxiliary. I don't know, why doesn't the Empire outfit all their soldiers except the scouts with heavy armor? Like, I guess it's probably a lot more varied, but I don't know, you'd think in something like siege warfare you'd want to all use heavy armor, since you're not going to be moving around on a battlefield very much. And what did I have on before? Why wasn't all that stuff equipped already? Huh. So I'll put on a battle cry. I don't think it's going to do anything in this case, but whatever, it will look cool. And Yeah, it'll look cool, that's about it. Well, anyways, I'm the Loopy Alchemist. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And I eagerly await hate comments from everyone who supports the Stormcloaks. And of course, it's a fictional universe, don't take any of this too seriously. Bye!